Laudetur Jesus Christus. Today I want to say a few things about adjectives and adverbs. Latin adjectives, just like nouns, are either of a masculine or a feminine or a neutral gender. And they can be declined, just like nouns. And also, an adjective in Latin very naturally follows the noun, even though it could also precede it, like in English. For example, I could say a good wine, bonum vinum, but it's very natural in Latin to say vinum bonum, or filia bona, or filius bonus, a good son, a good daughter, good wine. So we have a masculine, bonus, feminine, bona, and neutral, bonum, filius bonus, filia bona, vinum bonum. There are many adjectives that have this triple ending of us, a, such as bonus, bona, bonum. For example, bad, which is malus, mala, malum, or clear, clarus, clara, clarum, justus, justa, justum, for just, altus, alta, altum, for high, and so on. The list would be endless. All these adjectives in Latin that end with us, a, such as bonus, bona, bonum, are called first and second declension adjectives. And the reason is this: when the adjective is in the feminine gender, such as bona, or mala, or justa, clara, alta, and so on, they follow the first declension. You may recall that we were using the word terra to go over the declension, and the nominativus was terra, genitivus terre, dativus terre, accusativus terram, and ablativus terra. And bona follows the same pattern. Bona, bone, bone, bonam, bona. So I could say terra bona, terre bone, genitivus, dativus terre bone, accusativus terram bonam, ablativus terra bona. Or filia bona, filiae bone, filiae bone, filiam bonam, filia bona. All of these adjectives that end in us, a, in the masculine or the neutral gender follow the second declension. So bonus is declined as filius, nominativus filius bonus, genitivus filii boni, dativus filio bono, accusativus filium bonum, ablativus filio bono. And in neutral, likewise, vinum bonum, vini, boni, vino, bono, vinum bonum, vino, bono. So I'm really not saying anything new in here. I'm merely pointing out that these Latin adjectives that end in us, a, follow either the first declension when they end in a, such as bona, mala, justa, and they follow the second declension when they end in us or such as bonus, bonum, malus, malum, altus, altum, and so on. And that is why these are called first and second declension adjectives. Now, not all Latin adjectives have that same ending of us, a, For example, strong is fortis, fortis, forte. masculine is fortis, feminine is fortis, neutral is forte. All other adjectives in Latin that do not have the ending of us, a, follow the third declension. As you may recall, we were using as an example for that declension the noun pater. And we had nominativus pater, genitivus patris, dativus patri, accusativus patrem, ablativus patre. So it was pater, patris, patri, patrem, patre. Fortis follows the same pattern. Nominativus fortis, genitivus fortis, dativus forti, accusativus fortem, and ablativus, and there is a little difference. Ablativus is not forte, as in pater we had pater, patris, patri, patrem, patre. It ends in e. The adjective ends in e, forti. So again, nominativus fortis, genitivus fortis, dativus forti, accusativus fortem, and ablativus forti. So as an example, we could say pater fortis, nominativus, genitivus patris fortis, dativus patri forti, accusativus patrem fortem, and ablativus patre forti. I speak about a strong father, loquor de patre forti. And in feminine gender, it could be, for example, mulier fortis, a strong woman, mulieris fortis, mulieri forti, mulierem fortem, muliere forti. And in neutral gender, as an example, it could be corpus forte, a strong body. And I'm saying forte, not fortis, because remember, masculine is fortis, feminine is fortis, and neutral is forte. So corpus forte, corporis fortis, corpori forti, corpus forte, because in neutral the accusativus and the nominativus are always the same. So corpus forte, and loquor de, I am speaking about corpore forti, about a strong body. So all adjectives that do not belong to that group that has an ending in us, a, are of the third declension. And the only difference is in the singular ablativus, where nouns have the ending e and adjectives have the ending e. Other examples of such adjectives would be gravis, grave, heavy, levis, levis, leve, light, tristis, tristis, triste, sad, fidelis, fidelis, fidele, and the list would go on. We can form adverbs from adjectives. First and second declension adjectives, those that end in us, a, can be turned into adverbs by dropping the ending of us, a, and replacing it with the letter e. For example, malus, mala, malum is bad. Male is badly. Altus, alta, altum. Alte is highly. Altus, alta, altum is high. Alte is highly. Clearly, clarus, clara, clarum is clear. Clare is clearly. Explica mihi hoc clare. Explain this to me clearly. Explica mihi hoc clare. How? Clearly. clare, alte, judica, juste. Judicare is to judge. Judica is a command, judge justly. Judica juste. The other group of adjectives, those that don't pertain to the first or second declension adjectives that end in us, a, the others, such as fortis, gravis, levis, and so on, those can be converted into adverbs with the ending of iter. For example, fortis, fortiter. Fortis is strong. Strongly is fortiter. Gravis is heavy. Graviter is heavily. Levis is light. Leviter is lightly. Fidelis is faithful. Fideliter is faithfully. So this ending iter changes the adjectives of the third declension into adverbs, whereas the ending e, which replaces the us, a, in the first and second declension adjective, converts those into adverbs. So alte, juste, clare is highly, justly, clearly. Fortiter, graviter, fideliter is strongly, heavily, faithfully, and so on. Finally, I should mention the grades of adjectives. As for example, in English we have strong, stronger, and strongest. Strong is positive, stronger is comparative, and strongest is superlative. Positivus, comparativus, superlativus. In Latin we form the comparativus, the comparative, with the ending of ior for masculine and feminine, and ius for neutral. So for example, fortis, fortior, filius fortior, a son who is stronger. A stronger daughter is filia fortior, and a stronger wine would be vinum fortius. Or a stronger body, corpus fortius, because corpus is of a neutral gender. So filius fortior, filius fidelior, filia fortior, filia fidelior, animal fortius, animal fidelius. And the superlative is formed by the ending of issimus, issima, issimum. Fortissimus, fortissima, fortissimum. Masculine, feminine, neutral. Fortissimus, fortissima, fortissimum. And those are declined the same way as anything ending in us, a, that we have discussed so far. So filius fortissimus, filii fortissimi, filio fortissimo, and so on. Now the comparative, fortior, is declined as a third declension. So nominativus would be filius fortior, genitivus filii fortioris, dativus filio fortiori, accusativus filium fortiorem. I see a stronger son. I see my stronger son, video filium meum fortiorem, and I speak about my stronger son, loquor de filio meo fortiore. So, these follow the third declension, and the superlative follow either the first or the second declension. So fortissimus fortissimi, fortissimo, fortissimum, fortissimo. And if it is feminine, then it is fortissima, fortissime, fortissime, fortissimam, fortissima. Loquor filia mea fortissima, or loquor doctrina fortissima, loquor vino fortissimo. Many of the most common adjectives are irregular, just like in English. Bonus, better, is melior for masculine and feminine, and melius for neutral. And best is optimus, optima, optimum. Bad is malus, peior, peior, peius, and optimus, pessimus, pessima, pessimum. So this is the outline for the adjectives, and for the degrees in adverbs is formed by the ending of ius. For example, strongly is fortiter, more strongly is fortius, and most strongly is fortissime. Or clare is clearly, clarius is more clearly, and most clearly is clarissime. So I could say, explica mihi hoc clarius, explain this to me more clearly. And I could say, you have explained it to me most clearly. I could say, explicavisti mihi hoc clarissime, most clearly. And I hope that I have explained all of these issues having to do with adjectives and adverbs, at least clare, if not clarissime.